A new bridge is being built, but it's not just concrete and steel. It's a geopolitical message. Russia and North Korea are teaming up to construct an 850-meter road bridge across the Tumen River, their most ambitious direct connection in decades. The timing? Strategic. The message? Defiant. The implications? Huge. This isn't just about trade. It's about sanctions, smuggling, missiles, and survival. Let's break down what this bridge really means and why the world should pay attention. The new structure is an 850-meter-long road bridge over the Tumen River, right next to the existing Friendship Bridge that connects Russia and North Korea by rail. This new bridge is designed for vehicular traffic, not just trains, a major logistical leap forward in linking the two nations. On the Russian side, it will connect directly to the federal highway system. On the North Korean side, it will tap into routes leading toward the industrial city of Chongjin and beyond. This isn't a small upgrade. This is an artery of alliance. This development didn't come out of nowhere. In 2024, Vladimir Putin made a rare, high-profile visit to Pyongyang. The trip ended with a sweeping agreement covering economic cooperation, military exchanges, infrastructure development, and an unbreakable partnership narrative. The bridge was part of that package, a symbolic and strategic move to deepen ties between two of the most isolated, sanctioned nations on Earth. And now they're turning words into concrete. At first glance, a road bridge may not seem like a big deal. But in geopolitics, infrastructure is power. Here's why this bridge is significant. Logistics and supply chains. It allows trucks, convoys, and small-scale commerce to move without relying on international sea lanes or third-party airspace. Military mobility. A road link gives both sides the option to move military hardware, fuel, or personnel in ways that are harder to track than sea or rail transport. Sanctions evasion. Roads are harder to monitor than ports. A bridge like this opens a new corridor for gray market goods, dual-use tech, and illicit exchanges. Symbolic alliance. Building infrastructure says, we're in this together, and we're planning for the long haul. It's not just a bridge. It's a lifeline. Both Russia and North Korea are under heavy international sanctions. Russia for its war in Ukraine, North Korea for its nuclear program. This bridge provides a potential sanctions workaround. Experts warn that the bridge could facilitate oil and fuel transfers from Russia, enable parts or materials for missile development, support dual-use tech exchanges, especially electronics, move labor, advisors, or even weapons under the radar. While the bridge itself isn't illegal, its use will be nearly impossible to monitor, especially with both regimes tightly controlling information and access. In other words, it's the perfect setup for quiet defiance. The Tumen River is no ordinary border. It sits at a geopolitical tri-point between Russia, North Korea, and China. You can't build anything here without Beijing noticing. So is China opposing it? Not quite. While Beijing hasn't endorsed the project openly, analysts suggest it's giving quiet consent or even logistical support. Why? A stronger Russia-North Korea axis keeps the West distracted. It strengthens China's hand by making Washington's sanctions less effective. It allows Beijing to play the moderate role while still gaining leverage over the region. In short, China wins either way. For Russia, the bridge is a tactical and strategic win. Alternative trade route. With Western sanctions tightening and European markets gone, Russia is pivoting hard to Asia. North Korea offers cheap labor, ideological loyalty, and logistical convenience. Military exchange. There's increasing evidence that North Korea is supplying Russia with artillery shells and rockets for use in Ukraine. A road bridge makes those transfers easier and faster. Strategic disruption. Russia benefits from any move that disrupts U.S.-led order. Linking arms with Pyongyang throws sand in the gears of Western policy. This is Putin's way of saying, you can isolate me, but I'll just build new roads. Kim Jong-un, meanwhile, is playing his cards perfectly. Economic relief. North Korea is desperate for fuel, food, and machine parts. This bridge gives Pyongyang a direct overland channel to tap into Russian reserves. Strategic leverage. The more connected North Korea is to Russia, the more it can ignore Western pressure and demand more concessions in nuclear talks. Military upgrades. If reports are true, North Korea is getting Russian technical support, missile expertise, and possibly even spy satellite access in return for munitions. Kim isn't just surviving sanctions, he's weaponizing them. This bridge exposes a fundamental flaw in Western foreign policy: over-reliance on sanctions. The US and EU assumed they could isolate bad actors economically. But Russia and North Korea are showing how to build alliances around that isolation. If they can create their own trade routes, own supply chains, and own military tech ecosystem, then what's left to sanction? This is decentralization at the geopolitical level. Not through free markets, but through mutual defiance. So how does the West respond? They could. Pressure China to stop the project, unlikely. Tighten border surveillance with satellite and drone intel. Threaten secondary sanctions against firms that support the bridge. Use this as leverage in future arms control talks. But here's the truth. Once the bridge is built, it's built. Concrete doesn't get sanctioned. Trucks don't need visas. Trade flows don't stop unless someone is willing to physically intervene. That's unlikely, and both Moscow and Pyongyang know it. This isn't just an 850-meter stretch of road. It's a strategic corridor, a political message. A new front in a global contest where diplomacy has failed and infrastructure is becoming the battlefield. While the world watches wars in Ukraine and Gaza, this quiet construction project in the Far East may shape the next decade more than we realize. Bridges are supposed to connect people. This one? It may connect two nuclear states against the world. What do you think? Is this just smart strategy from two isolated nations? Or a dangerous escalation that deserves global intervention? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell for deep dives into the infrastructure, alliances, and rivalries shaping tomorrow's world. This is Libertarian Uncensored, where we follow the power, not the propaganda.